Welcome students to the second part of this chapter. What? Gravitation? Yes, from class 9 physics. So now we're going to talk about the mass and the weight. So mass and weight, what is actually? The mass is what? The mass of a body is a quantity of the matter contained in it. If you have like example of your mobile phone or your laptop, or anything you're studying, or your book, you can say. Okay, so there, when whatever matter is there, we have studied about matter, no, solid, liquid, gas, anything like your laptop in front of you or your mobile, there is many things are there inside, isn't it? The motherboard is there, then place for SIM is there. Okay, so there is some matter is there, some solid matter is there inside it, means some mass of the body is there, quantity of some matter is contained in that body, so that is a mass. But weight is what? Weight we always measure with the center of the earth, means the force which we are attracted towards the center of the earth. Okay, that is actually the weight. One thing always remember, that mass, whatever matter is there in that body, will never change wherever you take it. But this weight will change if you change the place. How? Let's see on the next slide. See here. So here one lady, assume as you or me, okay, anything. The first picture is, my weight on the earth is 730 Newton. Weight we know that it is measured in Newton. So on earth, her weight is 730 Newton. In moon, her weight is 121 Newton and her mass is always 73 kg. Okay, means what? Mass will not change. Whatever is her mass, means whatever matter is contained in that body, whatever physical or chemical, whatever changes is there inside that body will not change. That mass will not change. Wherever she will stay, but the weight will change. In earth, her weight will be 730 Newton or 73 kg. But on moon, what will happen? It will become 121 Newton. Okay. Always, mass is always constant at any place and any time. But the weight of the object will depend on the gravity of that place. So weight is always equal to what? Mass into acceleration of the gravity. Okay. So next slide we are going to study about the weight of an object on the moon. How we will say, means how we will calculate that what is your weight on moon. Like your mass of the body is how much? Maybe 35, 40 in that way. But now what will be that mass, means that weight. Weight on earth is that much, but weight on moon will be what? Let's see. How we will determine? Suppose mass of the moon is capital M, small m I have given because moon, okay? And radius is Rm. Now if a body of the mass m is placed on the surface of the moon, then the weight of the moon constant will be what? Weight Wm equal to Gmm by Rm square. We know already this equation, isn't it? Before we have got it. Now weight of the same body on earth will be what? We is taken as Gmem but divided by what? Re square. Okay. Now here me is mass of the earth and Re is radius of the earth. Now while we divide this both the equation, okay, we will get Wm by We. What we will get? That capital M small m by capital M small e into Re square by Rm square. We know mass of the earth Me 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg. Mass of the moon 7.4 into 10 to the power 22 kg. Radius of the earth 6,400 kilometer and radius of the moon 1,740 kilometer. Now in equation 3, if we put it approximately, we will get 1 by 6, means the weight of the body on the moon is about 1/6 of its weight on the earth. Okay, so this is what means, how much will be your weight? Just divided by 6. As it will decrease, that will be it will be the weight in moon, not in earth. Okay, so next we'll talk about what? The thrust and pressure. So what is thrust? When the force acting on a body perpendicular to its surface is called the thrust. Now if you see the diagram, the man is holding a pin and fully pointed to the block of the wooden block is there. Now you are applying the force there, acting perpendicular to its surface. That is a thrust. But pressure is what? Thrust per unit area, means how much that area that we are applying the force, that is called the pressure. So pressure is what? Thrust per area. Clear? Means pressure P is equal to F by A. Always remember this. Okay. So these two are the terms. Next we'll talk about pressure in the fluids. So pressure in the fluids is what? Fluid pressure depends on the depth. What is the deep? How much deep it is? Greater the depth, greater the pressure. Fluids include the liquids and gases. We know this. They take the shape of the containers and will flow. Fluids flow from high pressure to low pressure, and pressure is equal to force by area. So this is the pressure in the fluids. This is a concept. Okay. Next we'll talk about the buoyancy. So what is buoyancy now? This is the ability of an object to float which is related to its density. So how much the body is dense and how much ability it has to float, that is the buoyancy. Because see, wherever here it is shown one ball is in the water, but some portion of the ball is inside the water also. So what will happen? The gravity will pull us inside, but there is one force, buoyant force, it is said. Okay, that is a buoyancy, which will have us the ability to float on that the water level. Now force due to gravitation and attraction of the earth acts on the ball or the swimmer's body in the downward direction. So they are pulled downwards, but the water will exert an upward force on the object. Thus they are pushed upwards. And this upward force exerted by the water on the ball or on the body is known as the upthrust or the buoyant force. Clear? Now, next slide we'll go to why iron nail sinks but a ship made of iron floats. Yes, both are iron, but an iron nail will sink, but a ship will be float. But that is also made of iron. But why? Because of its density. Let's see. An iron nail sinks in water because its density is more than that of water. Okay. Density of that iron nail will sink because it's the dense. How much dense? It is more than the that of the water. But a ship made of iron, due to particular shape, it is given one shape there, flat shape, isn't it? So it will displace a large amount of water, so that the buoyant force acting on the ship due to the water balances the weight of the ship, and hence the ship floats on the water. Okay. Now next slide we'll go to the why objects float or sink when placed on the surface of water. Same example. Here two objects are taken. In the bowl, I think you can see water is there. One is, now here it is not taken ship, here it is taken one cork. Okay. Soft cork is given there, and one nail is there. But nail has sinked on the water, but cork is floating on the water. But why? The cork floats while the nail sinks. This happens because the difference in their densities. Both have different densities. Nail has more denser than the water, so it will sink. And cork has less density than the water, so it will float. So see, second point, the density of cork is less than the density of the water. This means the upthrust of water on the cork is greater than the weight of the cork, so it floats. And the density of the iron nail is more than the density of water, and this means that the upthrust of water on the iron nail is less than the weight of the nail, so it sinks. Okay, so this is the reason why why it happens. It will float. Okay, the cork will float. Now we'll talk here about the elongation of the string. What happens if you tie a stone with a rubber band? Okay, just a rubber band you have tied and you have taken it. As it is made of rubber, it will what? It will be elongated more. But same stone, if you put in the water, the elongation will be less. But why? Let's see. We will see that elongation of the string decreases as a stone is gradually lowered in the water. In figure A, the elongation produced in the string is due to the weight of the stone. But as it immerses in water, the elongation will decrease because some force acts on the stone in upward direction, and that upward force is known as what? Force of buoyancy. Same thing, we are talking about what? Buoyant force, isn't it? Now let's talk about what? The Archimedes principle. So Archimedes principle, let's first see the example, then we'll talk about who was Archimedes. Okay, see here what is shown. There is one vessel. That vessel, what happens? There is an outlet, isn't it? There is an outlet, and that outlet, the water will flow to the other thing, but the line, see till water where it is, if suddenly this object will be lowered in the water, what will happen? It will overflow, and that only happened. How? See here. First, in the A diagram, that object is lowered into a container of the water. Then in B, some water is displaced while it is dipped half, and fully when that object will be displayed, means submerged in the water, then some volume of the water will be collected on the another beaker, and that is equal to the volume of the object. And so this concept was given by whom? Archimedes. Let's see. Archimedes was what? He was a Greek scientist. Okay, he was a Greek scientist, and he discovered the principle which is named after him. And after noticing that the water in the bathtub overflowed when he stepped into it, what he shouted? He shouted, what? I have got it something. What he got? Scientists were mad, no? He shouted, Eureka! Means what? I have got it. What he got it? He got the knowledge that helped him to determine the what? Purity of gold in a crown made for the king. From that also he had taken out. So he discovered this principle was in his name, and he stated what you see. When a body is immersed fully or partially in a fluid, it will experience an upward force that is equal to the weight of the fluid displaced by it. So it was given by him. So it was what? Archimedes principle. This whatever he has given this law, please remember this. Okay, next let's see what is relative density. Density, we know what actually density is. Can we talk about density? Mass per volume, isn't it? Kg per meter cube, that is the density. What is the mass and what is the volume of that thing? That is a density. But what is relative density? Relative density is what? Density of a substance with density of a standard substance. Okay, like density of any solid thing, like a silver. Okay, density of silver, it is 10.8. Okay, and density of water is will be, how we will take out, like you have given that relative density of the silver is 10.8, and density of water we know that it is given as how much? 10 to the 10 cube kg meter per cube. Okay, kg meter cube, kg per meter cube. So you have to take out the density of silver. So standard density, actually the density of silver we have to take out. Okay, standard substance is what? Water. Water we know. What is the density of water? 1000, isn't it? 1000 kg per meter cube. So we can take out any density of a substance, or we can take out any relative density of that substance also. Okay, so relative density we know kg per meter cube, but relative density has no unit because it is expressed as density of a substance in comparison with that of the water, and this relative density of a substance is the ratio of density to that of the water. Okay, and it has no unit because it is cancelled out. Okay, so till here your chapter is finished, and hope you have understood the chapter. This is the part 2 of this chapter today I have discussed. So part 1 is also given to you. You can see on the playlist. So till then, thank you. Hope you have liked the video. Please try to share it. If you have some friends, you can share it to them also. This is only for educational purposes. Thank you. Have a good day.